As an artist, it's really great to have that contact and meet the people who are buying or just looking and responding to your work.
I'm Jenni Davidson, and today I'm going to visit the Yellow House, which is home to Jehane Boden Spiers, who's a textile artist. The Yellow House is one of the artists' open houses in Brighton. There's textiles, jewellery, prints, ceramics and wood carving. There's a bit of something for everyone here. How long have you been opening your house for?
We've been opening the Yellow House since 2002, but the first open house I ever did was in 1996, I think. I try and have a range of medium and also scale, so it ranges from jewellery to three-dimensional sculptural ceramics, also printmaking and textiles, glasswork as well.
You were one of the first open houses, or the first open house to have an all-year-round website.
It's yellowhouseart.com. Visitors always say, where can we buy the work the rest of the year? I studied textile design at Winchester School of Art. I have a real passion for travel and for colour and for language and for places that have lots of different things happening at once and different layers and stories. I very much wanted to do a one-off fine art piece as opposed to repeating design. It's called Taken from the Wasteland, and it shows a view down Kensington Gardens with all of the original shops, antique maps of Brighton printed all the way up the pathway, and quotes from Brighton Rock and extracts of Urdu and Hindi from India because of obvious cultural links between the two places. The main quote of the poem is from T.S. Eliot, Taken from the Wasteland. It took about 6 months to make, dyeing fabrics, collaging everything together and the stitch. It was a very, very labour-intensive piece. Although I sold it at my degree show to a chap who wanted to take it to New York, my dad very kindly stepped in and said he thought it would be better to keep it as an example of a large-scale piece. I do still work on large pieces, but because they're to commission, I don't tend to have the pieces to exhibit.
20 years ago, it was quite uncommon to use text in textiles. Jehane was one of the first people to do this, and it's really taken off, so now you see it everywhere.
When I was younger, I thought I would be an English teacher, so when I moved over to art, it was very important to keep that passion sort of within my work. The first key piece that I did using text was based on Shakespeare when I was still a student, using passports for the different characters as if they were modern figures, and making references to questions within literature who actually wrote these texts. So it's not just using the text as a design element, it's also very much about the content. The initial brief for the piece when I was at college was Great Britain as You See It, and it was set by a gift wrap company in London. They wanted to take one student's work into wrapping paper and cards. It was a wonderful kind of confirmation of what I was doing to have that taken through to be published. The main process of how I work is a combination of applique and embroidery, often combined with screen printing. This piece itself doesn't have any screen printing on it, but it's a great example of applique with fabric and using freehand embroidery. For example, the poem that goes around the outside, which is by E. Cummings, is created by actually moving the fabric underneath the needle, doing a normal running stitch. Yeah. Interestingly, it actually does look like my handwriting. It's quite identifiable. The majority of the artists I've got this year are from Brighton. There's a couple from further afield and one even from Sweden. Some of the most popular artists are Jane Muir, who people collect a lot of her work. There is quite a range of subject matter. Some of the strong graphic prints are inspired by vintage bust blinds, very, very heavy emphasis on typography, to very, very soft layers of natural flowers and leaves and sort of that kind of thing. And then we also have very sort of quirky subject matter, like there's a group of ceramic birds. They're called quaver birds because of obviously their shape. Flo Snook has paintings of the West Pier and also textiles featuring Brighton Beach and Brighton landmarks. Victor Stewart Graham has marine assemblages, driftwood boats and pictures created from driftwood. We also have Emily Milne Wallace's exceptional drawings unbelievably exquisitely detailed Victorian, they look almost like Victorian etchings. We also have Claire Stiles' fantastic printed aluminium jewellery. When I first moved to the house in 1999, it was already quite a bright shade of yellow, and I must admit my first response was, oh my gosh, well, we'll paint it white, but I grew to love it. I've painted it even brighter since.